Hello everyone, and my name's Bobmich. Welcome back to the 3.4 PTU, and this is the Freelancer Ms. So today we're going to have a look at some of the Freelancer variants that have now been added into the PTU. As you can see, this is the MIS, the Ms. This is the missile variant, and it's very, very well armed. As you can see, it's got the giant G220s on here. Are they G220s? I think they're the upscaled one, aren't they? And it has a very large complement of very large missiles under the wings, which is of course unusual for the Freelancers because they aren't normally this well armed. So this is meant to be the more militaristic sort of fighter variant of a Freelancer. If we step inside here, in the middle room you have the cargo section here, but then in this one you can see it's got all these missile racks to store all these armaments and blow people out of the water, so to speak. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out and I'm going to see if I can run a mission with it and blow some people up, or rather blow some NPCs up. So we'll have a look, shall we? So externally, the ship doesn't look that much different from a normal Freelancer, except it's got the giant missile openings on the top there that you can just see, where you can fling missiles from. The engines look very similar, and apart from the loadout, it's got the Ball-Chinian look that the DUR has, but we'll get there in a minute. And of course it has this very military green paint scheme, but let's see how this thing fares in combat, shall we? So, armament wise, it's got a hell of a ballistic storm and it doesn't have an alternate fire, so let's see if we can go and kill things.
Contact received. Contact received.
Here we go, here's something to shoot.
Damn it!
Contact received. Contact received. Contact received.
Sorry, I'm being very quiet, aren't I? I'm concentrating. This shows you how I'm not much of a fighter pilot, because I'm tryharding. I'm very quiet when I do so. There's another Freelancer Miz here. Maybe someone else is having the same idea as I am. Okay. There we go. Quick look at the Miz. That looks pretty formidable, I'd say. Although it's not that manoeuvrable because it's a Freelancer. It's a bit lumpy, but yeah, it definitely can spew missiles out of every available orifice to continue shooting at things. Let's go and have a look at one of the other ones. Okay, next variant, and this time we have the DUR, which is the Exploration variant. And there isn't really that much to say beyond that there's a normal Freelancer basically hidden under this thing because we really don't have mechanics for exploration in yet. But as you can see, it's packing some of the new Hurston Dynamics laser repeaters on it, which are very cool. We'll have a look at those in a second. It too has the nose of the Balchinian look, so it's got the two big domes on the nose. It also has another dish on top, which we'll have a look at. However, it also has these big pods underneath. As you can see, it has missiles, but only a bunch compared to the MIS, which we just flew. So we'll get in it and we'll take off and we'll have a look. Inside the external compartment here, there isn't anything like a missile rack. These are all obviously to do with scanning and probing, because that's at the end of the day what the exploration's for. You've got another little bit of cargo space here, and then we can go forward into the living area. There isn't really a lot to hide in the interior of this thing compared to a normal Freelancer. Now for some reason this build... Oh, except a new startup noise, that's unusual. For some reason in this PTU build the ships like to start with their landing gear up, so that's why I'm having a bit of a wobbly takeoff with these things. Now, as we look, still the same annoying engine noise that every Freelancer carries. If you look on the top there, there's a dish that obviously helps with scanning. And it's just got these huge pods, which I'm guessing are fuel. So they're quantum fuel for extended jumps. And the DUR has a strange trait in that when you go a long distance, so for instance when you're travelling to Hurston or somewhere beyond, and you're doing a large jump, it takes a very short time to get there compared to a lot of other ships. So like the Hammerhead and the Starfarers can get to Hurston in like 4 or 5 minutes. The DUR seems to be able to do the same at the moment. Whether that's just a bug and it's got the wrong size kind of quantum engine, we don't know, but there you go, that's what it's got at the minute. So apart from that, that's the DUR, and of course it has the new cool laser repeaters from Hurston Dynamics, which I think are quite funky. This alternating fire that you can see. But yeah, that's the Freelancer DUR. Unfortunately, until we get some exploration mechanics, I can't really do much more of a thorough test on this one because we can't utilise it that much. Apart from that, I like its paint scheme, which I think is quite cool. I like the blue and orange, so yeah, let you know what you think about this one. Let's go and have a look at the last variant, which I've kind of been saving for last because I know a lot of people like it. So. Okay, and our last variant is the massive Freelancer Max. So, some of you have already seen me fly this thing on stream. It was quite fun. But as you can see, this thing has huge engines, and it's doubled up on them, as well as it has a lot wider of a butt because it has a lot more cargo space inside. This thing has 12,000 units of cargo space compared to the normal Freelancers. It too is using some different weapons. So this thing is using Omniskies, so that's going to make a lot of people very happy, because I know that lots of people in my organisation like Omniskies. And it's in this bright orange paint scheme, which isn't very stealthy considering it's supposed to be a cargo ship, but to each their own. And aside from that, it too doesn't share much different from, you know, looks-wise and internals-wise as a normal Freelancer. But I definitely like the weapons change because the Omniskies are very good, even though this really isn't a combat ship. I'm not that fond of the engines, I have to admit. I like the fact that it's got 2 of them, but this whole thing here just feels like wasted space. It's a giant brick and then it's got this little intake at the top. It's like something that belongs sticking out the hood of a massive V8 car, you know, the air intakes. but it just feels like a lot of wasted opportunity on that thing, because it doesn't feel like this giant thing here is doing very much for these two engines, you know. We'll open the door and watch the Freelancer bounce as the ramp hits the bottom of the deck here. Whee! Look at that. You can see they've all got these compression style landing gear now that all the reworks of the new ships have been getting. So that's very cool to see. And inside, you can see it has a ton more cargo space. So it's really, really widened in here. So there's a lot more room to put things. In the stream that I did, I think I did the holiday mission. And I put the Xmas present down on the floor here, and it looked tiny and dwarfed in here. So a cool thing to see, of course, is if you can fit vehicles in here. And I imagine you can throw Tumbril Cyclones and Ursas in here. I'll be interested to see if you can't fit a Merlin in here. I imagine Citaro is going to try at some point. But again, we will get this thing into the sky. And we'll have a quick look. Let's see if this thing makes its landing gear fold up like all the others did. Oh, I should have turned my flashlight off, really, shouldn't I? Never mind. Yeah, see? It makes the landing gear pop out. So we'll just put the landing gear down again and see if that changes things. Okay, so now I've figured out how to get around that. That's cool. And we'll level her out a bit. And we'll move off. You see it has these massive, massive rear landing gear pieces now. So as a cargo runner, I think this is really cool. If you know you want to start as a cargo runner and you don't have something like a Caterpillar, or you're upgrading to move from something else that's a bit smaller, like an Avenger or a Cutlass Black, this is definitely the way to go, because it's very cool. I like the orange paint scheme. I'm not too fond of the engine looks, but apart from that, I think it's awesome. And as you can see, it's got the powerful on this guy. It's just like the Constellation Phoenix. So, yeah. I like this thing. I have to admit, playing with the Freelancers recently, I own a Mercury Star Runner, so you get the normal Freelancer and a Drake. The Herald, that's the one. And, yeah. So you get those as loaners, and I have been flying that normal Freelancer, and they have grown on me a lot. So I have to admit that the Freelancers, they are growing on me as a ship series. I still don't like the fact that you can't see a lot. They have the kind of, you know, slat view out of the front, like a letterbox kind of view. But apart from that, I think they are very, very cool ships. And as we just proved, the Freelancer Miz is quite capable in combat, because even if you can't hit things with the guns, you can just spit missiles forever at whatever you're aiming at. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. And I will bring you some more 3.4 PTU content and 3.4 live release as it comes out. I'll see you all next time.